Today I'd like to go over a new kit list that I've put on the website for Strive for More Preparedness, sfmpro.com. I'm doing a screen record so I can go through it. I'm going to go through it pretty quick. Everyone can read this on their own, but I just want to go over why I made this list. On the top, I have the purpose. The purpose of this document is to give a guideline for items to keep in your car. This will start with general items for every car. Following the general list are climate-specific items. On here, what I wanted to make was something that almost everyone could have in their vehicle. And then depending on where you live, if you don't live somewhere that gets really cold, then you don't need that area. If you don't live in somewhere that gets really hot, you don't need that area. And then if you do go camping or in a remote area, there's a section for that too. And I want to make it pretty simplistic. I'm trying to keep some of these to one page to make them easier. We'll go from the top, up-to-date infotainment, video navigation. The benefit with your vehicle, I guess except for probably a Tesla or something that uses cellular data, if you have a navigation system in your vehicle like Subaru or GM, those vehicles, those are downloaded straight to your vehicle and it uses the satellite of your car. So you do not need cellular reception to use those maps. And it's really good to make sure that those are up to date because roads do change all the time. And usually, depending on the plan you have with your automaker, you can go and download, or when you go in for your next service, they can put on once a year, once every 6 months, however much you want, but definitely once every 12 months, new updated maps. The paper large print map book, electronics fail, and it's just good to have a map book. You never know, your car could die, you can be in the middle of nowhere, or you could be in the city you live in a different part that you're not usually at, and you want to know how to get to where you're going. That's why A, reading a map skill is really good, and B, having maps to read are also good. The next thing is a 12-volt charger for all your cables. I've gone over this several times, but having a power source, your vehicle is great. Having batteries, that's great too, but your vehicle's running, you don't have to use your batteries. And then on top of that, always keeping your electronics plugged in if that's possible. And that way, if your car does die, or you are stuck somewhere, or you do leave your car and you go to a meeting or wherever that might be, your phone's always charged because it's plugged in while it's attached to the car. The next thing is a booster air compressor, jumper cables, a wool blanket, water brick, and then in addition to that, the following item is the water brick spigot. For the next item is a GMRS mobile radio. Same thing with CB radio, you can talk to each other, but more so than that, even though everyone has Waze and Google and name the app under there, I would say the majority of the time that there is heavy traffic, and we know there's going to be heavy traffic, I can turn on our little Midland handheld radio, or if I'm in our other vehicle, turn on our mobile CB radio and listen to the truckers, because they will have such specific details on what's going on. They'll know what lanes are shut down, by what exit specifically, what's going on. Is it something you might as well just exit now, or is it just going down to one lane and it'll open back up and it's just not worth the effort to exit and go around and get in the mess? And it's very helpful, especially if you're looking at a disaster situation or natural disaster, man-made, whatever that might be. It gives you really good real-time in your proximity information. The next thing is rechargeable flashlight. Rechargeable headlight is really good. And again, USB rechargeable. You want something you can plug into your car, because I'm a huge fan of all this USB stuff. The Garmin InReach Mini, my Petzl headlight, the Surefire hand lights, your phone, all these items plug in and can charge from almost any source. Those little battery packs, anything. A general tool bag. Next, we have a good open assist knife. Follow local laws. Some places are much more restricted on open assist knives. I just like it because it's a one-handed tool. Next, you have a spare tire. That's really important. If you don't have a spare tire in your vehicle, say it's one that just doesn't offer that, then make sure you have a tire repair kit. LED road flares. Next, you have non-perishable snacks. You want stuff that can stay in your car, hot, cold, it's not going to melt. $100 in small bills in a Ziploc. A distance defense weapon. And again, that can be a Byrna, a pistol, whatever that might be. Again, consult your local laws. Then summer urban, I think you should have, this is on top of your everyday carry. I think you should have a Nalgene, 2 Gatorades, and a small hiking snack, again non-perishable. Summer rural, 2 Nalgenes, 4 Gatorades, 2 hiking snacks. And again, that's just time. The reason I'm adding that is because that gives you, say you're stuck somewhere, that gives you food and water for a while. Next, you have winter urban, no Nalgene, no Gatorade, because again, you don't want to freeze and explode and make a mess, but you want the water and Gatorade. So in your EDC, whatever it might be, backpack, whatever, you do want water, and so you would just augment that into your bag, so that way your bag stays warm inside taking it in. Winter rural, same thing. Remote camping, 4 small Gatorades, a 12-volt refrigerator. It just gives, it's more convenience, but it gives you something cool in case someone is getting dehydrated and overheated. It gives them a cool drink, start cooling down their body on the inside. An Iridium with Geos. Iridium is pole-to-pole on satellite. You can do a lot of different options for this. The inReach Mini obviously is my favorite for the cost-effective version. You can do a phone, but make sure it has that Geos button so you can press it. It goes off to Geos, to their headquarters, and then they can start getting help on the way. 2 Nalgenes in addition to whatever you're taking for hiking or whatever. 1 GMRS rechargeable radio per person. If you do have a flat tire, do you have engine trouble, if someone needs to go to the restroom, if you're say you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, but there is cell reception up a hill or around a bend, you can leave the group or the majority of the people at the car and then have the other person walk, and that way even if the car is dead, you can still talk to each other and know what's going on, and it's just a lot easier to do the two-way communication verbally. GoToNamesh is another option, but again, verbal is usually quicker than anything else. And that's it. That covers it for the car kit. I hope that was helpful. I'm trying to make lists that are good for everyone, no matter what their situation is, and most of these things you could probably have on hand already, or if not, they're not very expensive to get, or you can just build them over time. And again, this should be on every vehicle. So if you have 2 or 3 in your family, if you can standardize what's there, that's really helpful. That way, if you do switch vehicles driving and something does happen, you have all those supplies in each vehicle. And again, this document is available. I'll do the screen record. It's available on the downloads page of sfmpro.com. And thank you for watching.